Today we're going to share about the ISTP personality type, also known as the virtuoso. We'll analyze it from the perspectives of Jungian 8 function theory, the influence of the family of origin, and its strengths and weaknesses to give you a clear understanding of this personality. Let's start with the Jungian 8 function theory. For ISTPs, their dominant function is T, introverted thinking. T represents a deep internal logical analysis. ISTPs are like internal logic experts. They can break down complex problems into small logical parts. For example, when an ISTP is faced with a mechanical device that's not working, they'll start to analyze the internal structure and working principles in their minds, trying to find out where the problem lies. They are good at creating their own logical systems and use them to understand the world. The auxiliary function is a say extraverted sensing. Say focuses on the immediate physical world. ISTPs are highly attuned to their surroundings. They notice details in the environment, such as the texture of an object, the sound of a machine, or the movement of a person. For instance, an ISTP at a shooting range can quickly sense the wind direction, the weight of the gun in their hands, and the position of the target. This allows them to make accurate and immediate responses based on what they perceive in the physical world. The tertiary function is NI, introverted intuition. NI gives ISTPs a sense of long-term possibilities and underlying meanings. Although not as prominent as in some other types, ISTPs can still have sudden insights. For example, when working on a long-term project, an ISTP might suddenly have a hunch of the future direction of the project, based on their accumulated experience and the patterns they've observed. The inferior function is Fei, extroverted feeling. Fei is about understanding and responding to the emotions of others in a group context. For ISTPs, this function is less developed. They may find it difficult to deal with complex emotional situations in social settings. For example, in a group where there are interpersonal conflicts, an ISTP may not know how to mediate and may feel a bit lost in dealing with the emotional turmoil. Now, let's talk about the family of origin and how it might shape the ISTP personality. Imagine a child growing up in a family where there's a lot of hands-on work. Maybe the father is a mechanic and the mother is a craftswoman. The child is exposed to a world of physical objects and practical skills from a young age. The parents encourage the child to explore and take things apart to see how they work. This environment stimulates the development of the child's say function, as they are constantly observing and interacting with the physical world. At the same time, the family may also value logical thinking. When the child has a question, the parents guide them to analyze the problem step by step, which helps the growth of the T function. However, the family may not be very emotional. There are few deep emotional discussions or expressions of feelings. As a result, the child doesn't have many opportunities to develop their Phi function. They become more focused on the practical and logical aspects of life, rather than the emotional side. As for the strengths and weaknesses of the ISTP personality, let's start with the strengths. First, ISTPs are extremely practical. They have a knack for fixing things and getting the job done. Their combination of T and Say allows them to quickly assess a situation and come up with a practical solution. For example, in a survival situation, an ISTP can use the resources around them to build a shelter or find food. Second, they are very adaptable. Thanks to their Say function, they can quickly adjust to new environments and changing circumstances. If they move to a new place or start a new job, they can easily pick up the new skills and routines required. Third, ISTPs are excellent at risk-taking. Their Say gives them the courage to try new things, and their T helps them analyze the risks involved. They are not afraid to step out of their comfort zones and take on challenges. For example, they may be more likely to try extreme sports or start a new business venture. However, one significant weakness of ISTPs is their difficulty in dealing with emotions, both their own and others. Their underdeveloped face function makes it hard for them to understand and respond to emotional cues. In personal relationships, this can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts. To improve this, ISTPs can try to be more aware of the emotional states of others. They can start by observing non-verbal cues, such as facial expressions and body language. Joining some group activities where emotional sharing is encouraged can also help them practice using their face function. In conclusion, the ISTP is like a skilled navigator in the vast ocean of the physical world. With their sharp logical minds and acute physical senses, they can sail through the rough waters of practical challenges. They are the ones who can turn chaos into order with their hands and minds. Today, we've explored the ISTP personality, and I hope you have a better understanding of this unique and fascinating personality type.